Maybe. Sorry, guys. I got to kick up the next stream. It says it's going. I don't know. I don't know why it didn't work. It looks like we're going now. Hey, YouTube. Sorry about that. We just did nasty pitches. That's frustrating. Well, we got to fix that too. Thank you, Sporer. Appreciate that, man. I appreciate that a lot. We'll get that figured out. But it is what it is. We were on Twitch, though. We have the Twitch stream. The Twitch stream doesn't go anywhere. Get out of the frame, you douche. Wait, Trev's a dad? I am Depth. What? Hey, Depth. Welcome back, dude. Chewed on his toy? Frank the Tank is your child? First of all, Frank chews on his glasses. Those aren't a toy. He needs those, okay? Leave Frank alone. Okay, now we're live on YouTube. Got it. Welcome back. All right. We have another segment for you. What the beep is the Trajekt Arc pitching machine? Every single week we get into a little segment I like to call What the F is, and I tell you about it. I tell you about it. Again, ask questions in the chat, guys. I am saving them in a queue. If you have a question you would like it answered after this segment, is the time to do it, because we will get into the questions to end our stream like we normally do. So all you got to do is ask it in the chat. It might not be answered right away, but it will be answered soon. All right. Does anyone know what the Trajekt machine is? It's something we talked about last year. We got into it a little bit. It is a brand new piece of technology that almost every team has now, somewhere, whether it's down in spring training or it is up with their pro team, and it looks a little bit like this thing behind this big screen behind. You'll see it a little bit better. This is the official, I believe, the official description. The Trajekt pitching machine is an advanced baseball and softball pitching machine that utilizes machine learning and vision technology to replicate real MLB pitchers, and it's run on Bitcoin. Okay, that last part, I made that last part up. It's widely used by professional and collegiate teams for training against game-like pitches. So basically, it's supposed to be able to mimic, when you put in the data, mimic any pitcher in the major leagues. And everyone has the same information, by the way. That's part of kind of the deal, okay? So it's on tracks. It can move left to right. It can put a lefty or righty. You can actually physically see the pitcher on the screen. And it uses, I mean, I don't know where the AI really is. Everything's AI. Everything that's a computer, they're like, it's AI. AI is computer. And that's not quite true, but we're not gonna, that's a different show. That is a different show. Okay. So this is it. This is it working, right? And the little hole moves around, which is interesting. Like the plates move, and it's kind of cool to see. The actual Mets had one in 2022. One of the first ones to get it. But okay, so here's kind of the rundown of what it does, all right? I'll hit you with it. Can simulate specific MLB pitchers by matching their release point, velocity, movement, and spin rate. All things that go into Stuff Plus, because you know that already, because you watch this show. So basically, you can match the Stuff Plus of a pitch, which is awesome. Almost match it because there's no extension, but all the other stuff is there. So you can like basically program it with all of that data on a pitcher, and then it will create that pitch, okay? Then it can recreate a fastball, curveball, sliders, changeups, and other breaking pitches. Pretty much every single pitch that exists except for knuckleball. Anything that spins, anything that's based on spin, which is everything but a knuckleball, okay? It also projects a pitcher, so you can see their motion. You can see how they go through their windup. You can see how quick they are to the plate, which is all really cool stuff. And also it puts the hole right where the ball is actually released, so you can see the angle at which the ball is going to approach you, which is also interesting. So you can train your timing and like recognizing pitches as well. Now, there is one caveat. I want to make this very clear, and I said this last time. There is one thing missing from the machine. It's not perfect. And this was something that was glaring when we first got one. You can't see hand position. So when you do pitch, when you're recognizing pitches, you have to be able to see this, like the angle of the ball being released out of the hand in order. It's the first step in pitch recognition. Then you see spin and movement and stuff, and you adjust. So you can't see hand position. There's no way to mimic that, but that is really the only downside. But not being able to, that is one part of the equation though. So it's not perfect, and you can't get perfect, but it's also very, very precise, very precise. So you can actually like say, if this moves here, and I want it to cross the plate here, it will adjust itself in order to get the pitch located right. And it's really accurate, which is awesome. So if you're like, I just want to hit sliders from this guy in that part of the zone all day, you can get them to where it's just like, you're just going to get slidered to death. You can go and see that slider 100 times and even put it in the locations that you think he's going to try to throw them to, which is so cool. I think that's the coolest thing ever. And then you can program sequences. So like you can predict how the pitcher might pitch you and have it throw those pitches in that order, which is awesome. So you can actually take your scouting reports that your team already put together and put them in the machine. So you're taking batting practice against the pitcher, except for the hand position. You can't see the hand position. And you can't vary your leg kick and stuff, which I think is going to negate this a lot. People can get really used to getting like in a rhythm with it. And then if you go out and you mess with their rhythm, even though they've seen you a bunch of times, it might hurt you more than it'll help you. But that's going to be an interesting change that we're going to see, I think. So most teams have this in, okay. So here's all the things it does. It displays the video of the pitcher, spinning the pitch, velocity, movement, spin rate. I just said all this, precise locations and such. Okay. The Mets bought one in the simulates pitches in 2022. A lot of guys didn't like it because they didn't have the hand position. But as the season went on, because we got it in July, it was like towards the end of the year. As the season went on, guys would go see the program in the specific pitch and just see it over and over and over and like track it and just get an idea of what the spin looks like when it comes in, how it moves when it spins that way, and then what it looks like when it's away versus what it looks like when it's backed up. Like, so they can train their eyes to be like, once I see the ball cross through that hole, that's when I swing. When I see it here, that's when I don't swing. That's the types of things they were doing. So it wasn't about trying to hit every pitch. It was about being able to recognize it and then make a good decision. And that actually made them a lot better. And I don't know if you remember this. We won 101 games that year. But I do distinctly remember the day that was delivered, and it was a shit show. There is one negative, though. The thing's expensive as hell. It costs $15,000 to $20,000 a month for a lease for a standard of 3 years, which means the machine costs over $500,000 at the end of the day, and you don't even own it. Which I don't know. I wouldn't do that. But that and the hand position thing's the only thing really that the only problems it has. So you may have seen this recently. There was an article that came out on ESPN.com that was talking about the Boston Red Sox training complex in Florida. A new generation of hitters is being developed by modern technology and training methodologies, one of which is the Trajekt machine. It's three guys, Christian Campbell, Roman Anthony, and Marcelo Meyer, okay? These three guys go in and they hit off the Trajekt machine together all the time. And why they do that is because since Craig Breslow has joined the Red Sox organization and they've changed their hitting philosophy a little bit, they are focused on swing decisions, which I just mentioned, bat speed, bat to ball skills, your ability to hit the ball where it's pitched, and also ball flight. Trying to get under it for certain pitches, trying to hit it on the ground for certain pitches, trying to stay through the ball and hit it on line drive, right? You're trying to do those are their 4 tenets of hitting, and you can program this machine to let you work on those tenets of hitting. And that's what these three guys have been doing, and they've been filthy. So and then they compete against each other. So they have like they do leaderboards where they're doing exit velos, or they're trying to get the ball in the air, or they're trying to not get the ball, or they're trying to only swings at strikes, or only swing at balls, and they create these different programs and they create these different scenarios. Then 3 guys rotate through. And I don't know if you paid attention, these 3 guys raked last year, and they're very close to being in the big leagues, no matter what. Even though one of the, I believe was it Roman Anthony? Even though Roman Anthony's only should be an above average defender. And that's a Trajekt machine. Pretty cool, though. Quite the hefty investment. Some of the downsides. They are expensive. They are working on some models that they're trying to get to academies and youth baseball. Some versions, maybe without the screen, but it just moves so you can see pitch shapes. Honestly, if you just took the screens off and just had it work on rails, it's interesting. But this is a really cool project. I think that the gap between pitching and hitting is going to continue to close with more people are on this. But the thing is, pitchers are then going to adjust some way by like making up a new pitch or something. So the technology is catching up on the hitting side, and that is good to see. I love to see it. So we don't have to change a bunch of rules anymore. That would be pretty. That'd be really great. Do I mean the DH Roman Anthony? Yes, that is the Roman Anthony that I'm currently speaking of. Indeed. How'd you know? Okay, guys. Keep the questions a-coming. I am looking in the chat for them as we speak. Will DJ Hey Beef have a music segment? Say less. I got my turntables right there. That'd be cool. We should do that. Okay. Hit me with some questions. Ooh, this is a good one. I want to hit this before we move on. Would pitchers use a machine to get an example of what their stuff looks like from a batter's perspective? I have done that. I did my high fastball, and it makes sense that it's hard to hit because it looked like it was coming from so low because I was so low on releasing. Like when I extend, my extension would be so far out that I would be releasing the ball at like 5.5 feet. And so then it would look like it was going up and it wasn't. So I was like, oh, I feel better. I'm really hard to hit. That makes me feel a lot better. Okay, I'm saving these up. All right, before we get into your questions, we are very close, guys. Thank you so much. I have it. Oh, so it's time for Isn't That Interesting? My crazy facts of the week. We do weekly stuff here on the channel. This is Isn't That Interesting? This week, I got a Ken Griffey Jr. trivia fact for you, and boy, oh boy, is it a doozy. It's a doozy. Buckle up. Ken Griffey Jr. is first place in a lot of stats in his career. He's one of the greater hitters of all time. You know, well over 600 home runs. He first guy to wear his hat backwards for MVP. Not the first guy, but he made that famous. Caught a bunch of cool pitches. Was in the game, was in the movie Little Big League. A lot of accolades. Hall of Famer. But this might be the craziest thing associated with Ken Griffey Jr. Of all of the people born in Donora, Pennsylvania, you guys know Donora, right? It's called the Philadelphia of Central Pennsylvania. I don't even know if it's in Central Pennsylvania. Donora, Pennsylvania is where he was born. Of everyone born in Donora, Pennsylvania on November 21st, he is the second most hits of all time. He is second place all time in hits by people from Donora, Pennsylvania, who were born on November 21st. Who was first? Of course, Paul Sporer knows. That would be Stan Musial, one of the greatest hitters of all time. Yes. Today you learned that Ken Griffey Jr. and Stan Musial are from the same town. Isn't that interesting? I thought so. And that is your crazy fact of the week. And Little Big League as the villain too. Yeah, him and Randy J, dude. Junior made your favorite SNES game? What's a? I'm just kidding. SNES game. Baseball game? Ken Griffey Jr. baseball? Yeah. All right, it's time for your questions. Let's get into them. Trying to think what would be the best way to do this. Let's make me big. Let's turn this guy off. And let's get into your questions. All right, you guys been asking questions? Throw them in the chat if you have more questions. And we will get into them as we go. So I appreciate you a lot, guys. All right, we had some questions here about... Oh, we got a bunch of subs too. Holy crap. Let me hit the subs real quick. Oh my God, dude. It keeps scrolling to the bottom. Can we fix this, please? Okay. GBB1102, 2 months sub. Speedbee, 7 months. Marcy, 58 months. Let's get a little round of applause in the chat for Marcy. We have Jeff Steele, Flex, 10 months sub. Chinese Tiger, new sub. Brand new sub, Chinese Tiger. Thank you so much. 10 bits from Hefe. Benny Geeky, 63 months. 42 months from Depth. And 46 months from D-Money. Thank you guys so much for all your support. So long on Twitch. Thank you so much. First question. I didn't mean to do that. Okay. What do I think of the ABS? I love ABS. I like the challenge system for ABS. I like the ABS for a few reasons. One, it creates a new mechanic. I mentioned this a lot. I'm going to mention it again. Creates a new mechanic in the game that can be learned, and teams will do better than other teams. Meaning, you can be strategic with it. You got to be smart. You got to make sure that you're rationing them or the right people are using them. And if you mess it up, it could have disastrous consequences for your team. Also, I like it because it gives you some recourse to get the calls right. I think we're going to see less arguing balls and strikes when you actually have an option to do it. Now, I think arguing balls and strikes has been moot for a long time. It's kind of pointless. Like, you just get thrown out and nothing really happens. And now we'll get a little bit less than that. I hope we're not taking away too many things for umpire or for managers to yell about, because I think that's part of it. It's got a little bit of pro wrestling going when guys go out there and yell at each other. One of the downsides of ABS, one, is calibration. So it's going to be different in different places. Sensors are all over the place, but also you'll be able to digitally change the strike zone and no one would know. That's my biggest concern, because I think that the league and the commissioner's office is always going to try to add offense, and there's no better way to do that. And it's really, really easy to just circumvent everybody, circumvent the people that would make the choices, right? So that is one concern. I don't think they will do it, but I don't want to go into spring training like we did with the balls a few years ago and be like, is the balls different? Like we did every single time. It was brutal, and I hated it. I hated it so much. I just realized we can just have this up, which I love. Shout out to the design team over at Val Territory for putting this together for me. Trevor, is there anything from your career you wish you could have chance to redo? I mean, yeah, there's a ton of stuff. I know a lot more now than I did when I first came up. I wish I would have known that stuff earlier. So yeah, I would go approach a bunch of situations in different ways. I would love to do that, but it's one of those things like no regrets. I don't regret anything. I don't feel bad, or I don't think I should have done anything, or I could have done anything different. I'm for the most part happy with the fact that I think I did everything that I could have done, and I was good as I could have been. Would catchers use the Trajekt to practice their framing and blocking abilities? Yes, they actually do use it for that. That is one of the reasons. One of the things they use it for, which is interesting. But it makes a lot of sense, especially when you catch a pitcher before you have to catch them. Guys, we're doing it in spring training. Might as well get on it. Might as well, if you're trying to catch, big breaking balls, or like trying to get used to the velo and how it feels to receive those things correctly. Yeah, they use that for that. Do you think the MLB will move to put in pitcher concussion protection type tech? It already exists. It is called the Super Mario hat because it's this big, like puffy, like thing you put on top of your cap. Some guys used it a couple years ago. It's there and it's available. Honestly, I think face mask would just go a long way. But like a lot of softball, like if we could get a really low profile wire face mask where it's not really intrusive, right? Or it's not like a visor, but it's just like, you know, it hits, it's just smaller. It would, and so the ball doesn't go directly into your face. I think that could help protect the face that way. Maybe, you know, maybe there's a lightly padded hat that goes with that. That would be interesting as well. But it's about aesthetics, and guys just don't think it's going to happen to them, which is unfortunate. Favorite clever walk-up music. Matt Bush walks up to Magic Stick. And is it Matt Bush? No, it's not Matt Bush. Matt Shaw. Matt Shaw, the young guy, the young prospect from the Cubs. I heard it the other day. Like that. Magic Stick's pretty good. Shea Langoliers has a good one. I can't remember what it was. Guys that do ones that play on their name, pretty good. But overall, Welcome Home by Cody and Cambria is pretty dang good, man. That was mine. How many pitchers are into statistics and math? So this is so fun. Like, there's no shade thrown here, but usually I get this question, like, basically the vibe behind this question a lot when I'm asked it, because I'm asked by young people, like young guys that play baseball usually, and they're asking because they're like, oh my God, do I have to do math if I want to play baseball? But I'm like, you can get an advantage if you like it. Yeah. So there are a lot of guys, but most guys don't like aren't going like deep and getting a full understanding that, oh, what else is there? Oh, and I'm like that. I'm like, where else can I go from here? But for the most part, guys are able to be like, oh, I understand this to the level I need to understand it, and I'm good. So they know what questions to ask, and they know what some of the numbers mean, but they don't actually have to do any math. That's what the vast majority of guys are doing. But the best ones are really into it. Paul Skeens is really into it. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'll be saying. We can knock out some of the questions. Oh my God. Oh, that I remember that block. Did you focus more on velocity or movement? Both. It was velocity until I was consistent with it. So once I got to where I was throwing 96 to 98, like every outing, and I didn't have to think about it or work anymore. Like I was like, what do I want to do? I want to get to 98, 99. Like, is there a huge difference? Like, am I plateauing? And I did, but it was easy enough to throw 97 every pitch, and that was good enough for me. Once that got there, then it was all movement improvements and command. But we're seeing that a lot. Like, velocity is the first thing you learn because velocity is agnostic to where the pitch goes for the most part. So yeah, it's stages, but I would say they're both important. It depends on where you are in your career, though. If you're trying to get seen, like, they got to see a high number somewhere to be like, to like give you a shot. That's just kind of true. It's not always true, but it just generally you're better off. Guys who throw harder get more looks than guys who don't. That's just the way it is, and that's why everyone's hurt. Did you have any pitch that you just loved to throw? Change pieces, dude. Change-ups. Loved them. Loved them. Is the pitch clock considered a success for fans or for players? I think it is a success. I think it is a success. But I also think that I was correct in being really frustrated with it at the beginning because I didn't like how it was rolled out. You see how we're doing ABS for spring training, but it's not going to be in the game this year? We're like, okay, guys, here's the pitch clock. You get 3 weeks. You got to get used to it and go. Like, there was a lot. I was just generally frustrated with how flippant the commissioner's office is every time players tell them something because they think we're being babies, or it's very like it gets feeling very condescending sometimes, and that actually is what bothered me more than anything. It was the way things were done. I was like, hey, dude. They're like, oh, come on. I was like, don't come on me. You have no idea. Also, pause. All right, back. You have no idea how to pitch. You have no idea. So how about you, when I say I need to be able to do this thing, and like I'm going through my process, whatever, you just listen to me and say, yes, sir, because I know about it and you don't know about it, Morgan. Sorry, I didn't mean to say a name. He's our future commissioner, so I should have some respect. But I had that issue. It was like, every time I heard these answers, they were just always like spun and like, they just didn't take it seriously. And that made me mad. But I also acknowledge the value that the rule change has. But like, I don't acknowledge grown men just wanting to do whatever they want and then getting annoyed when people push back against their stupid ideas. So that's mostly where that came from. That's mostly where it came from. What do you think of safety bags being brought into D1 baseball? Yeah, I don't know why we just didn't do that right out the gate instead of the bigger bases, but we don't have an issue with it anymore, actually. The bigger bases have more or less solved the issue. But I don't think it could hurt. I don't know why we don't have them. I mean, they'll be like, well, it looks goofy. Okay, who cares? What's spring training clubhouse like for the guys in the minors? It's awful. So are we talking about minor league guys that are in big league camp, or are we talking about minor league camp? Minor league camp generally is awful. It was really bad when I first came up because there's so many guys. Even though the Phillies had a new facility, there's 100 and something guys in there, and you're just piled in like sardines. Piled in. Ooh, this is a good question. I'm from Germany, and we could qualify for the WBC for the first time ever, but Max Kepler isn't playing for us. Come on, Kep! Your thoughts for WBC and what it means for baseball. The WBC is awesome. I love it. Anytime you can represent your country and your sport, I think is phenomenal. I'm going to the World Cup here in Seattle in 2026. I think the U.S. is in that pool. I could not care less about soccer, frankly, right now, at this point. I will get into it a little more, but I'm taking my nephews and my brother-in-law and his family. He's from England, by the way, so they love soccer. And it's going to be electric. It's going to be so much fun. So I love atmospheres like that. When you're country versus country, it doesn't matter what you're playing, I'm going to root for us. So, when you came up, were there any players that were starstruck by or just in awe to play with or against? Joe Mauer with and against Miguel Cabrera. Watch Miguel Cabrera just walk into the box, you're like, dude, that guy is huge. That guy is massive. I don't know. He was my first guy. I was like, I'm in the big leagues. Like, I am in the major leagues right now. This is crazy. I can't believe I did it. I can't believe I made it. Can't believe I made it. What was your favorite strikeout story? Favorite strikeout story. That's a good one. Here's a good one. This made me feel good. He's another guy on the same team as Miggy Cabrera. He was on the 2014 Detroit Tigers. Victor Martinez was hitting fourth for them, and he had not struck out looking in like 500 at bats or something crazy. Hadn't struck out looking in a really long time, and I did it. I got him looking on a fastball down and away. And I remember Tommy Malone and we both knew of that. We knew that going in, and I got him, and I was like, oh, and I looked in the dugout, and then Tommy's like, he did it. Like, it was hilarious after the fact, but I was like, oh, nice. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I did it. So I was his first strikeout looking in a long time. After this was after I had given up a homer to him, though. So cool. What's your favorite positive umpire story? Umpire story. My guy, Ben May. I've told this story a few times, but towards the end, I actually did not talk to umpires very much because I didn't know what to do. I wasn't comfortable. I don't want to mess things up. But there is an umpire named Ben May in the major leagues. We have the same last name. And then we kind of started having a running joke every time I saw him towards the end of my career, that I would see him at the reunion. We're not related, by the way. I'd see him at the reunion, or we made up a fake aunt that we would reference all the time, and that was always fun. So like every time I saw him, we made we made a point to continue the joke, and that was pretty sweet. That was pretty sweet. Ooh, who is the best uniform in the league this season? Nice, Danny. I don't know. Who is the best uniform in the league? Who gave you the most spine-chilling fear to pitch against? I never felt spine-chilling fear because of a hitter. There was a couple times where I was really, really got really anxious, but it wasn't like fear. It was more like I was in an anxious state for a really long time, and I was like tired. So when I gave up a homer to Aaron Judge on September 11th to give up for them to tie the game in the 8th. And that day was just, I just remember it vividly, just being really all day. But I pitched to Judge. I just wanted things to go well. It was one of those things I was mentally exhausted, and I was like, oh, please don't. So it was more like, no. But that's it. Honestly, you can't be if I were spine chillingly afraid, I would just walk the guy on 4 pitches. You cannot throw a strike if you're that afraid. You can't. Thank you for gifting a sub to Fossil Land, by the way. Appreciate that. You excited to see the Giants New City Connect? Myself as well. Me too. Myself as well. The A's do have great unis, by the way. Phenomenal uniforms. Phenomenal unis. All right, guys. We got about 9-ish minutes left in the show. I want to thank everyone for being here, hanging out. If you were here on YouTube, I'm so sorry. But my switch over from Foul Territory to this YouTube channel just didn't work the first time, so I had to run it again 15 minutes later. We'll figure that out. We'll get it cleaned up. But make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. That helps people find it. When I go live, you'll be notified if you turn on the notifications. It's there really isn't, the live platform is kind of hard to scroll through here on YouTube, so you kind of got to go straight to the channel. So make sure you are subscribed to make sure you do that. That would mean a lot to me. Twitch people, you just keep doing you, all right? We got new videos coming out all the time on this channel. Henry and I have been writing a new script recently. We got a video coming out about the history of the LOL Mets, which is one of the more fun kind of documentary style things we've done so far. I've had a really good time writing that. Also, my newsletter has returned. You can sign up to that as IamTrevorMay.com. And basically every week you just get a little nugget on what's going on, and then just links to all the new stuff from the week. So if there's a new YouTube video out, new stream out, if I'm on Rates and Barrels, if I'm on the radio, if I'm on Foul Territory, all the other things I do, because I'm involved with a bunch of stuff. Anything that I appeared on, you can check that out and go check out the episode. It'll all be linked there, and it's free. But if you're not trying to have more email, obviously you don't have to get it. But my assistant Emily and I are trying to get that back for you. So I have a good time doing it, and it's great. Who do you want to do an episode on here with? I would love. So I am working right now on getting some co-hosts, some people to come in and contribute. It's a tech thing right now. I'm trying to get myself lined up for some technology. I'm not very good at delegating. So, or asking for help. I tend to try to do everything myself, which makes things get bottleneck a little bit. But at the same time, it's hard to communicate what I want, because when I have no time to think about it, I just have to get it done, because there's no way to delegate. So I'm in this weird limbo. I haven't been able to I try to come into the studio and work for 3 days a week and get everything lined up by Friday so that it's ready for Monday. Last 3 weeks, I have not been able to do that. I've had to get out of here. I've had to do half days a lot because of Kate has her own stuff going on. We don't have a babysitter. We don't have a nanny. He doesn't go to daycare yet. He's only 5 months old. So I'm going and hanging out with my son for half the day, which I love, but there are things that I would like to go a little faster, and they're not. So part of the big reason is there is a custom tech solution where people can call in, and then they're just on the stream. We're building it. It's just we got to test it. We got to find time to do that. It's just taking a little bit longer than I would like, but like that's no one's fault but my own. So it's coming. So with that said, I would love to have guys on. Pretty much everyone who's been on my Cut in the Diamond podcast with me, Tommy Hunter. I want to have Brent Rooker come on here and talk hitting sometimes. I need my own AJ Hawk. There will be other people involved. We are working on getting some music going, some third-party production happening where I don't have to do everything because half my stuff breaks every single time, and I got to figure that out as well. Again, no one's fault but my own. JB, Jerry Blevins, 100%, dude. 100%. Jerry B I'd love to have him on. I think it just comes down to like, what are the things we're talking about? I have a group of guys I can get. I want to make sure they get the link, they click it, and they're here, and that's it. I don't want to deal with dragging boxes and trying to figure out and trying to stay on like where everything is. I'm still trying to clean this up and make this as smooth as possible. And it's probably going to be a week by week process, but we now have the intros, and I even have this. So whenever we have, anytime I say something and it's allegedly, guys, right? Pretty cool, huh? Allegedly. Pretty cool. Just bring Madsen to the studio. Unfortunately, he won't let me do anything. You want to hear Madsen's takes on this upcoming season? He will make it. Mon ass, dude. Exactly. Allegedly. So I thought it was pretty fun. You woke up, Milo? Oh, I'm sorry. Was it that loud? My bad. Was that really loud, by the way? I have it turned down, but if it is, just let me know. Any questions, guys? We got about 4 more minutes here on the show. 4 more minutes. Hit me with some more questions. Here's what I need to do. I need to prepare. I need to have like a little spillover segment here when I go a little too fast. But I've been focusing really heavily on that first hour, mixing it up, making sure we take a break at the right time. But we'll take it one step at a time. I love this. I love just sitting with you guys and talking. Honestly, this is also a blast. So I'm not super sad about not having this at the end. It's really loud. Got it. I'm going to take it way down. I just took it down 5 more. All right, hold on. Let's try it one more time. Allegedly, it's loud. Is it better? Was that better? Good. Thank you. If you're a WWE guy, thoughts on the Cena heel turn? D-Money. Henry came in. He's a big fan of WWE, and he was like, dude, did you see it? I love John Cena. I didn't see him be the heel, but I wanna. I'm gonna go watch it. I love it. I know they were like, hey, John, you want to be the heel? He's like, let's go. But are they gonna like mix up the You Can't See Me song? Make it like a little bit more villainy? I hope so. Better, maybe like 2 ticks more. Okay. I'll take it down one more dB. I'll keep it in the green. How's that sound? So it's quieter than my mic. That's good. Do you agree that Bond should be in the Hall of Fame? No, I don't. I don't, as long as we establish that nobody can be. But now that Big Papi's in, now it's Big Papi. Now it seems arbitrary. So I guess, yeah. Now that Big Papi's in, actually, no, I think that says we don't really care that much. And if Manny or A-Rod sneak in at any point, then Barry has to be in. Has to. Right? Somebody's asking for their Discord question to be answered. Oof. I can't bring. I might have to get into it next week. I got to get into that next week because if I open up Discord right now, it may break everything because it crashed earlier. I just realized it crashed. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. What's your question? Oh, thank you. Agathor. Do you think someone from the time period of Jesus could hit 90 on the gun? If not, what's the max velo you think they could hit? Are they slinging it with a sling? Dude, 70? I don't know how prevalent was throwing. You know what I mean? Did they have to throw a lot? 70. They're also very small people. At least Manny A-Rod had legit, yeah, suspensions. But Barry failed a test, but it was one of those. So that's the thing. These tests, some of these tests were done like they're giving tests out to just to see, but no one's going to get in trouble, and that's the one he failed. But the problem is, Clemens also failed it and just denied it, and then Barry pled the fifth. Like, guys, you did. Science says you did it. You know what I mean? I think that's what they're worried about. Anyway. Anyway. All righty. Yeah, the survey tests that were supposed to be private. Gotcha. But at the end of the day, right? Did you do steroids? Yes. Then they were asked that. They were like, no. You know what I mean? Once it's out, you can't deny it at that point. I think that's like the lying thing was the big hang up. I don't know, man. I'm over it. I don't care. He's the greatest player of all time. Barry Bonds is the greatest player of all time. Steroids or no steroids, he is. Whether he should be in the Hall of Fame, it's a club, in my opinion. It's just, it depends on what the Hall of Fame means to you. Right now, it's a club for players, and it's a document of our it's documentation of our game. That's what it is for. And if you can let them in and keep that same vibe, then I'm all for it. Who cares? Who gives a shit? Is the Luka trade possible in the MLB? We've already covered that. No, it is not. It's impossible. All right, boys and girls, that concludes your first episode in March. Next week, I'm back here on Monday. I will be down in spring training in the middle of next week, participate in the Clutch House. I'll be doing Foul Territory live from spring training, possibly recording a new podcast episode there as well. So that won't affect the show. Just letting you know if you guys see me around. Yeah, that big guy who looks like he's gained some weight since he retired, that's me. I'm so fat. All right, you guys have the best day. As always, drink your water. Enjoy your baseball, specifically Cactus League baseball, because Arizona is way better than Florida. And I will see you next week on Mayday, your favorite baseball show about other stuff and also baseball. See you next time. Bye.